Creedon has got some on that. He's with us here in the studio for Media Watch. Hello there, James.
Evening, Laura.
Now, everybody is expecting Nicolas Sarkozy to announce he will be running for president again in 2016. You've got hold of something, well, not you, but the French media's got hold of something that could prove quite damaging to that bid.
That's right. Now, this did come out back in 2011 when Saif al-Islam, his son, gave an interview.
Muammar Gaddafi, you're talking about, the late Libyan leader.
That's right. Muammar Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam, gave an interview to Euronews saying that his father had financed or contributed to the financing of Sarkozy's 2007 election campaign.
Something Sarkozy has always categorically denied, right?
Absolutely. But it now turns out that that very same day, a journalist for Le Figaro, a right-wing newspaper here in France, interviewed the man himself. And from the horse's mouth, we have Muammar Gaddafi saying exactly the same thing. And I'll give you the quote, which is there is actually an audio cassette tape of that interview. Now, oddly enough, she didn't include it in her report for Le Figaro. She did include that allegation in a book called Tripoli Wood that she published in 2011. But essentially, what we're going to see tomorrow night on France 3 News is the audio clip. And here it is on French news websites. What he says is Sarkozy has a mental deficiency.
Oh.
It's thanks to me he got the presidency. We provided the funds allowing him to win. He came to see me as Interior Minister asking for financial aid, etc., etc. 4 days later, the strikes on Libya started. So, of course, you could say Muammar Gaddafi had an interest in saying things that were negative about Paris and about Nicolas Sarkozy.
That's never been aired before.
That's never been aired before.
Pretty explosive stuff.
France 3 is going to publish that tomorrow. So indeed, it could be very damaging. I'm sure Nicolas Sarkozy and all
has
those
he
loyal
reacted?
to him. He has not reacted yet.
Reacted to that. Okay.
Guess what? It's Nicolas Sarkozy's 59th birthday today. I wonder, was France 3
Joyeux anniversaire.
sending him
Do you think they were
a little birthday present? I don't know. But in any case, I'm sure he won't be opening the bubbly for that particular piece of news. Perhaps he will.
We'll have to
for
see
his birthday.
how he deals with that. All right, very interesting. Okay, let's move on to the current French president, or rather his ex-girlfriend.
That's right.
A favourite subject of yours, James, I know.
It won't go away.
Well, yes, I mean, all of Hollande's press people were rather hoping she would disappear into the wilderness by now.
Well, she's
still
in
going,
India.
isn't she?
She's still in India, and she's speaking to the journalists, and the British papers are picking up on it, the French media's picking up on it. She said all sorts of interesting things that journalists noted down today. It's a bachelor's life for long, but he's making a big mistake, says Trierweiler, in the sense that he needs a first lady in the Élysée Palace.
Because he's not moving the actress in, is he?
She didn't say who she thought should or should not be in that position, but she did say that a first lady is important and that it's the role that should be kept on. She also criticised low blows, backstabbing and betrayals at the Élysée Palace, which hastened the demise of their presidential couple. She claims that only for the fact that he became president, the relationship would have survived. She went on to say that she hopes for a new career as a humanitarian campaigner.
Launching herself as the new Diana, it seems.
And that's indeed, there were some politicians yesterday, Roselyne Bachelot, our former health minister, who actually wondered that in a tweet, is she going to be the new Diana? Well, she has more or less said now that she hopes for a career as a humanitarian campaigner, bearing in mind that she was a political journalist, but she now thinks that this is an inhuman world full of betrayal. She's very much entitled to think that, given her experience. And she does not want to go back to working as a political journalist, even though she still has a literary column.
And she says
for Paris
we're
Match.
friends, doesn't she? She says we're not at war, Francois and I.
And she said that they're still in contact, that they've been in phone contact very regularly, and that the split was, it was
amicable.
It was
which
relatively
suggests
amicable.
that he has smoothed the way somehow. We don't know.
That's right. So there you go. She's certainly talking about it quite openly now.
Now, journalists love this story, don't they? As you and I do. People have been talking about it for a long time. Over in Gabon, they've been reporting on it as well.
Gabon, going back to, I think this is on, was it Saturday or Sunday? Essentially, their main evening news show was announcing the split between the first couple in France. Now, you know Valérie Trierweiler, right?
Yes.
She's often
Trierweiler.
That's right. Now, I suppose we'll look at the clip and then we'll discuss what happened.
Go
But
on.
let's just say she got her name wrong. Let's take a look
Didn't call her
at this
Julie, I'm
news anchor in Gabon who made a bit of a boo-boo.
François Hollande, président français, a annoncé il y a quelques heures la fin de sa vie commune avec la journaliste Valérie Rottweiler suite à la révélation de sa présupposée liaison avec l'actrice Julie Guillet.
No, that's not her name. That's her nickname, and she doesn't like it, and it's not very politically correct. And she was dubbed the Rottweiler because she was seen as being quite a tough lady who was, very much behind or had a central role in François Hollande's presidential campaign. And of course, there was that infamous tweet where she supported.
Well, she's known for having a bit of a
Royals.
feisty temper as well.
That's
I think.
That's it. But that's
nobody
not her
likes
real
to
name.
be compared to a dog.
No, definitely not. She also got
especially when
Julie
you've just been
Gaillet's
dumped.
name wrong. She called
She
her
called it
Guillet.
Guillet, but
There you
never
go.
mind. All right, let's move on to something else.
Yes.
The French government often accused of being a little bit top heavy with the socialists. They like
That's
regulation.
right.
They like everybody to work for the government as much as possible. And Le Monde,
Yes.
which is kind of a centre-left newspaper,
Yes.
they've come up with some good examples.
Well,
haven't
they've
they?
drawn together some reports from Libération going back to the 10th of January, also France 3 going back to December. And this is local government, right? And what we're seeing here is it's the local elections, of course, this year. Do you know that there is a village in the Olin area in La Drôme where there are 9 local elected representatives, but there are only 6 inhabitants in this
Excellent.
village? The mayor doesn't live there anymore. I think that's what you call top-heavy governance, when you've got more elected representatives than
Less
inhabitants.
government in
Yes.
Hollande. I
Smaller
think.
government, trim it down. Trim it down.
like a
Let's go
socialist
for slightly
paradise.
fewer elected representatives than inhabitants. Probably a good idea.
Brilliant. At least they're guaranteed to win, aren't they? All right, let's end in Iran.
Yes.
Something completely different. Now, this is a very touching story. He's
Yes.
a teacher, and he shaved his head in
Yes.
solidarity with one of his students who's suffering from a nasty
That's
illness.
right. Ali Mohammedian is his name, and this is in the Kurdish area in the west of Iran. Marivan is the city. Now, what he did is he put a photo up on Facebook, and you can see it there. That's the teacher, along with an ill student whose head had to be shaved, or he went bald because of treatment. The teacher was concerned that the little student by the name of Mahan Rahimi was becoming a bit introverted. His class performance was going down, so he shaved his own head in solidarity.
Oh, that's
Put
very
Isn't it very sweet?
sweet.
Put the photo up on Facebook. I think right up to the president, people, Hassan Rouhani, people responded to this, and indeed now the entire class has shaved their heads in
Class full of
solidarity.
baldies. Brilliant.
So it's nice that he no longer feels like he sticks out.
Starting a trend. All right,
Yeah.
James, that's lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Nice
Thanks,
story to
Laura.
end on. James Creedon there with Media Watch. Now it's time for a short break here on France 24. When we come back, we'll have the latest from Cairo, where ousted President Mohamed Morsi struck something of a defiant tone. That's quite an understatement at the opening of a new trial. We'll have the latest on that for you right after this. Don't go away.
Beyond Business.
Doing good is good for business. That's the thinking behind corporate social responsibility, a term increasingly used by companies, but doesn't make them better global citizens. We head to China, where scandals have put the spotlight on businesses behaving badly.
Beyond Business. En France 24 and France24.com.